Hello, and welcome to Cracked Sisters Conspiracies. We're a podcast that covers conspiracy theories, mysteries, and all of our spooky shit. My name is Jackie,
And I'm Cassandra.
and we are said sisters.
Well, hello there. What's going
Hello. What's going on?
Oh, nothing. Just living the parent life, sports and middle
Hmm.
school tours and
So, did she not have school today?
no, she did. So
Oh,
apparently, like the new cool thing is you tour all of the middle schools beforehand before you make your like final choice because school of choice is really big out here.
oh,
Yeah, and so it's like you schedule a tour with the middle school. They do it on like certain days and it's like from 9 to 10:30. Like we're on campus during school
I
hours.
guess they want you to see the school
Yeah.
while it's in session. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, and so they tell us about the school and their philosophies. We learn about, the courses and electives and sports and yeah, then you get to go into like active classrooms and stuff
Hmm.
and Grayson is over the moon excited to go to
I'm
middle
sure.
and like seeing the difference in size between sixth graders and eighth graders is shocking.
Mm, that is true. I do forget that now automatically you have to
Mhm.
start at sixth grade instead of
Yes.
having the choice of starting at seventh grade.
Yeah. And some of those sixth graders are like this big. It
No.
was,
Oh.
and then I felt like I was in numb. I was having flashbacks to my middle school experience. And I'm like, yes, okay, maybe it was more than 20 years ago, however long ago it was.
Literally, it was 19 years if we start for me at when I went in seventh grade. It was 18 years if I went in eighth grade. So for you, it's like closer to 30.
Yeah, I went to middle school from like 1998 to 2000.
My God. You should feel ancient.
I do. I do. Trust me. That's why I'm so tired right now. Um, but it had the same exact feeling as
Hmm.
it did back then. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't like it here. And the kids look the same, they act the same, they're also
Hmm.
fucking stupid. But
Hmm.
yeah,
I
Grayson was in
know.
awe.
Well, that's good. I know. So when I was a cop, I sometimes would have to sub for another cop who had like an ancillary assignment. He taught like a criminal justice class at a local high school. And so there was a couple of times where he's like, "Hey, I can't make it. Do you mind subbing in for me?" And I'm like, "I guess." And I'm like terrified of, I'm a grown ass woman, but I'm terrified of children, especially middle school and high school, because they can be really fucking mean.
Yeah.
And like some of them are just like little snotty little shits. I'm like, listen, I'm not on the payroll. Really, no one knows I'm here. Y'all better watch what the fuck you say, because I'm just gone in a minute. So if you piss me off, I'm gonna let you have it. But thankfully, everyone shut the fuck up and we just played Jeopardy. But yeah, it's terrifying, but I'm glad that she's excited and she doesn't have like a negative connotation going into it.
No, yeah. And depending on whatever school she picks, we're probably gonna stay with
Hmm.
our initial
Original choice,
school.
yeah.
Yeah. But she knows people at both schools. There's
Oh,
things
that's
that
nice.
she will thrive no matter where she goes. And so anyway, I had to like sign her in late this morning and she was
Mm-hmm.
stressing about having to go to class late and
Why?
like what because she's gonna be late and then she's gonna be perceived because as she walks into class late, everyone's gonna stop what they're doing and pay attention to
Was
her.
she at least holding a Starbucks or a McDonald's bag?
No, the timing worked out that she ended up getting there right as like the snack period started, so she just
Oh.
went back in like a normal kid. But anyway, what's going on with you?
Literally nothing. Got a new job.
Woo
Haven't
woo!
started yet. I start in a couple weeks, but I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah, so
Um, Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say we're gonna have your new life to adjust to, whatever that's gonna look
Yeah,
like.
I have no idea what my schedule is going to be. I think I'm probably going to be on nights. I'm going to hate my life. So who knows, but I'm sure
Yep.
we'll figure it out. Um, so I had asked you to send me a couple photos of
Yeah.
you from 2016. Do you know why I asked for that?
No. And
Okay. But even better. So I keep seeing there's like a 2016 resurgence going on in social media. where everyone is like reliving the glory days, but specifically the year 2016. And I'm like, this is so odd. I don't know what it stems from. I'm sure it's something TikTok related. I get the trickle down from Instagram or Facebook. So I'm usually, sometimes I'm kind of behind on the times, but I keep seeing it. So I'm like,
Okay.
this is a fun experiment. Let's revisit
Sure.
2016. So based on your pictures you provided, I think I have a clear understanding. But what do you remember about 2016?
So, first off, when you asked me to pull up stuff from 2016, my mind was thinking 2006. So I'm like,
Oh,
oh, back in the day. And then I went through my camera roll. I'm like, 2016, that was 10 years ago, which I didn't
yeah,
realize, but it was a decade ago. But yeah, I had a kid and I had had a kid for that
a little
year.
bit.
And
Yeah.
that was like my entire existence because there were no pictures that existed of me that my child wasn't in that I
Yeah.
could find. Um, but beyond that, I don't remember a single fucking thing from 2016.
So I guess you are not I guess you're not with everyone else in the fact that they just loved 2016. They had the best time, they have the best memories. For you, it's like Vietnam. You really don't remember
It was
anything.
it was just a period of time that I lived through. I looked really happy in all of my
You
pictures.
did say the pictures will be posted,
But it
but
was not a memorable year for any particular
really.
no.
Say you lived in the Moore Park apartment, or I'm sorry, the
Yeah.
Thousand Oaks apartment.
I 2016 was when everything politically shifted.
Oh, I couldn't even tell you who was in
Yeah.
office in 2016. I
That
have
was the
no
first
idea.
year that Trump got elected. I am willing to bet
Oh,
that
maybe that's
that's what
why.
the shift is because we have been in this
Oh.
alternate fucking universe and it launched in 2016.
Oh, well, this isn't political. This is
Okay,
just a
what was
fun
your
experiment.
interpretation? Just it being reminiscent of the
I'm
year?
like, oh, people
Okay.
just really missed the year 2016. I'm like, that's cool. I thought nothing political into it
Oh,
at all.
what do you remember of 2016?
I had the best year. So in 2016, I it was the year I moved to Ohio.
That okay,
I
yeah.
wrote notes. Where's my phone? Where is my phone? Oh, it's on the floor. Okay. Let's see.
I got my truck in 2016.
I also got my truck in 2016.
Oh.
Let's see. I learned I was allergic to Teflon because I broke out into
Oh yeah,
hives for 4 days
from your pants.
from my EMT pants. I was currently working at a really shady ambulance company that I'm shocked to know if it's still in business or not. Yeah, I brought my truck. I moved to Ohio in May of that year.
That's right, you left.
I did. I left you, which is why I went back. So I'm like, oh, I'm sure I have a picture of at least you and me without a baby, but I
Yeah.
don't fucking live here, so I had none with you that
Oh no.
babysit your child. I tried.
I found one picture that had you, me, Evan, and another person that used to live in Ohio that was
Wow.
around the same.
See, I had the only pictures I have physically with you was
Yeah.
at the park, and I'm on like
Yeah. The little thingy.
the
Yeah.
fucking thingy, yeah. But obviously your kid's still there. Anyways, in November of that year, I got Trigger,
Oh
my baby.
my
I
God.
know. And then I met Rachel in
Really?
2019 and we became best friends. And then every other weekend, her and I and our two coworkers were going and getting fucked up in downtown Cleveland. And it was literally just the best time. I really enjoyed 2016 and it made me sad.
Oh, well, I'm glad you had that experience
I'm
then.
sorry you didn't.
That, that's okay. I'll live vicariously through you.
Okay, but anyway, do you remember what my topic is today?
No.
No. Okay. So my topic was requested by Casey. And she has a love or a fascination with Bob Ross.
Oh,
So I'm
okay.
like, okay. And then so she was the one that kind of brought it to my attention that there is a conspiracy theory that he is maybe not as nice and as like chill as he comes off as.
Don't you do that. He is like Mr. Rogers level.
Is
Don't.
he?
Oh
Let's see.
no.
This is going to be a relatively short episode.
That's okay.
But let's see if we're traumatized at the end or not.
Sure.
So Robert Norman Ross was born on October 29th, 1942 in Daytona Beach, Florida, to his carpenter father, Jack, and his waitress mother, Ollie. And I really like that name. I think that's like a cute name for a girl.
Ollie. Oh, okay.
As a child, Bob had an infatuation with caring for injured animals, including armadillos, snakes, alligators, and squirrels. Because again, we're talking about Florida. Bob dropped out of high school in only ninth grade and went on to work with his dad in the carpenter business. And then during one of these days of work, Bob actually lost the tip of one of his index fingers.
Oh.
So I think he really missed out on a career as a woodshop teacher in high school. Because I don't know if you took woodshop ever. I took it in middle school and high school. I loved it. But
Yes.
it's like a requirement that the teacher is missing at least one part of at least one finger.
Cooking class is not our passion, it's wood shop. We love wood, ash, balsa, cedar, drift.
Oh, yeah? You love it this much? It's prosthetic! A fake! I lost that finger in the birdhouse in 92.
Yes. I did not take wood shop, but again, my child, she got to see the wood shop
Oh,
today, and I was really hoping that we could see the teacher to look for the digits, but it wasn't an active class at that time. But
I can guarantee he's missing part of a finger.
he has to be.
So in 1961, Bob was 18 years old and he enlisted in the U.S. Air Force, which I actually learned about at a party that I was at recently. Because we were talking about how Bob Ross and someone else were like snipers and like they like lived this crazy life. And I'm like, that doesn't sound right. And I Googled it. I'm like, that's not right. I'm like, he was in the military, but that's it. And then I made that person very sad.
Oh.
So he worked as a medical records technician. So he like pushed paper basically.
Fun.
And then he was promoted to the rank of Master Sergeant, and he served as the first sergeant of the Clinic of Eielson Air Force in Alaska.
Oh, okay.
So this is where he first saw snow and mountains, and these are the images that he later painted throughout his, long
Mm.
painting career. As a master sergeant, Bob had to be like a tough guy. He had to like scream at people and give them orders and like make them do shit that they have to do in the military. But this kind of went extremely against like his actual self and he didn't like it. So he decided that once he got out of the military, he would not raise his voice unless he absolutely had to. So he wanted to just be
Oh,
like a chill existence.
I love the Zen idea.
I can't relate, but I get it, I guess.
Sure, yeah.
It was during his military career that his love for painting kind of flourished because at one point he attended a painting class in Anchorage at the USO Club, but found it rather frustrating. The instructor was like more of an abstract painter. So
Mm.
he wasn't actually teaching people how to paint things. He was just saying, hey, paint this, and then you do it in whatever your
It was
interpretation
the
is.
experience, not a
And he's
lesson.
like, I don't want this. I want you to teach me how to paint. That's why I'm taking this class.
Got it.
So he was still in the military, but then he was also working part-time as a bartender, which I cannot picture in my mind's eye.
No.
But during one of his shifts, he stumbled upon a TV show called The Magic of Oil Painting, which was hosted by German painter Bill Alexander. In this specific episode, Bill Alexander used a 16th century painting style called alla prima, which means first attempt in Italian, but it's widely known as wet on wet painting. So it's oil painting where you use a lot of wet paint.
Oh, okay.
This tickled Bob's brain, and he's like, "This is the style that I think I want to try and kind of like see where it takes me." So he ended up studying this painting style and became great at it. He was creating his own paintings of the Alaskan landscapes that was surrounding him, and he was painting them on old gold mines.
Mm-hmm.
or like gold mining pans, and then
Oh,
selling
okay.
them to people. So that way they had his
Oh,
painting, which was kind of cool.
that's cool.
His paintings were so popular and make he was making so much money as a painter that he actually surpassed his like annual salary that he was making in the military.
Oh, wow.
So after 20 years, he retired from the Air Force as a master sergeant.
Mm.
So now he's retired. He is ready to start up his painting career. So he moved back to Florida. And he linked up with Bill Alexander, the guy from the TV show that he was watching.
Oh,
And the two kind of worked together. They did paintings, they taught some classes, and Bob was like a traveling salesman for certain art supplies and then a painting tutor for people who were interested.
cool.
At some point during his travels, Bob met a woman named Annette Kowalski who attended one of his painting sessions. After class, the two kind of got to talking, and her husband came over as well. And they're like, "You are really good at this. I think you should like go out on your own. You should separate yourself from Bill, and you should actually go into business with us." I don't know
Oh,
what their background was, but he's like, "Sure, let's do it."
wow. Okay.
So the three went into business, they pooled their money, and they created Bob Ross Inc. So they really let him like have the face of this. He was used to like a military style crew cut
Hmm.
hairstyle, but during the early years of their company, money was tight. So he was trying to save money wherever he could. So he stopped getting haircuts for a time being. And then so naturally his curly afro hair started to
Yeah.
grow out. He wasn't necessarily like a fan of his hair. He was just broke. But it was so recognizable that it became a staple and it was actually used in the marketing of their company. So it got to a
Oh.
point where it had gone on so long, he felt like he couldn't cut his hair because he would be like cutting himself from part of the business. So he's like, I guess I'm just stuck with this for the rest of my life,
Oh
which I
no.
do feel a little bad about.
Yeah. Sorry, man.
In 1982, a TV station in Falls Church, Virginia, aired a taping of his art class as a pilot, and it was an instant hit. There was all these TV companies trying to bid for him to be on their network. And the following year, a PBS station called WIPB convinced Bob to move to Indiana from Florida. And they're like, you can have creative freedom. You can turn this show into whatever you want. So he's like, sure, that sounds great. So he moved to Indiana, did not last long. He's like, yeah, this is cool, but I really love Florida for some reason. Can't relate. But he's like, I'm gonna move back to Florida, but I'll like fly in every couple months, tape some shows, and then fly back. So he did that for a little while. Critics compared his TV show and overall demeanor to Mr. Rogers, which is what you said at the beginning of this,
Yes.
saying that he was soft spoken, warm, and that people just really enjoyed his true good nature spirit.
Hmm.
Each episode of The Joy of Painting was 30 minutes long, and Bob would create paintings, like I said, from memory of his times in Alaska. He continued with the wet on wet method that he had perfected, and viewers calmly and peacefully just kind of watched him make magic, happen in front of their eyes. Bob wore jeans and a plain light t-shirt because he thought it was a timeless look. And he spoke as if he was talking just to you, the viewer, one on one. He wasn't like mass talking to people. So people like instantly felt a connection and kind of safe with him. And he's known for many notable phrases. I don't know if you ever watched the show. I think it might be a little old for you, but do you remember any of his phrases that he's used?
Happy little accidents.
Yes. Any others?
That's all I can think about right
Okay.
now.
So yeah, he says we don't make mistake, we make happy little accidents.
A little blue, if it gets too bright, take a little phthalo blue and add in there and dull it right down. Because if you've painted with us before, we don't make mistakes. We have happy accidents.
He liked to say, let's add a happy little tree, or he
Yeah.
like gave like personification to trees.
Maybe we'll put a little tree, just a small little tree, and he lives right here. It's just Van Dyke Brown on the fan brush. Just put him right there like that. Clang, hit the easel with a palette. Just give him a few little arms here and there.
He would say beat the devil out of it after like hitting his paintbrush
Oh.
to like get the water out.
Beautiful sky. Now you can also see how that light area just sort of jumps out at you after you put the dark on. Clean the brush. Beat the devil out of it. And we're ready.
And then he said a lot, just sort of tap it in, like when he was doing like stippling or something like that. So he painted an estimated 30,000 paintings in his lifetime.
Wow.
And then in 1995, a visibly ill Bob made his final public TV appearance as a guest pilot on an episode of the children's series, The Adventures of Elmer and Friends.
Yes, Molly. It's one I borrowed from the miner's cabin.
The cabin in your new painting?
Yep, it's where old Walter used to live. And this was his book.
Who was old Walter?
He was a miner, Chris. He looked for precious stones, like diamonds and rubies.
Wow.
When you believe in you, you can do anything. It's true. Create some wings and sail on the wind. I know you can, my friend.
Bob had some health problems. He was a lifelong smoker, and he had actually been diagnosed with lymphoma.
Oh.
So
Bummer.
on 4th of July, 1995, at the age of only 52, Bob passed away.
Shit, I didn't realize he'd been dead for that long.
I thought he was still alive. I did not know he was dead. So
I knew he wasn't alive, but it really didn't feel or seem like it was that long ago.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
So his personal life. During his life, Bob managed to keep his personal life extremely private. He had been married 3 times and had 2 children. That's what I said. I'm like, get it, Bob. It's the afro. Bob was extremely protective of his intellectual property and his privacy up until the day that he died.
Oh.
So now some may think him wanting to keep his private life private was admirable or respectable. While others maybe think that him being so secretive was a red flag, and he was this public figure, but why did he want to be so secretive? What secrets did he not want getting out?
I don't like people knowing anything about me, period.
The good thing you have a podcast.
I know, but like, who are you to deny anyone their privacy? Fuck off, people.
I'm just saying what people are saying. This is the people's. So, there's a conspiracy theory floating around that Bob Ross is actually a serial killer and that the paintings are the locations that he has hidden his bodies.
Oh.
Because in his paintings, he is doing remote wilderness.
Yeah.
He's doing creepy singular cabins. He's doing locations that are otherwise completely abandoned and a perfectly good place to hide a dead body.
Okay.
So, Bob lived at Ellison Air Force Base, as I mentioned, which is in Alaska, from 1963 to 1976-77-ish. During that time frame, there were at least 17 women who went missing in Anchorage, Alaska, from 1971 to 1983.
Oh.
So that's the time frame in which he was in Alaska.
Okay.
Many of these missing women were sex workers, and their age ranged from 16 to 41. So some were only girls, some were like grown-ass women. And a majority of their bodies were discovered in the remote wilderness of Anchorage, Alaska. So people just took this information and they lined it up with Bob, and they're like, this obviously is the man that has been kidnapping, raping, and murdering these women. Yeah, the women were raped as well. And they're like, how could Mr. Bob Ross, the nicest, kindest man, be hiding this secret his whole life? So thankfully, none of this is correct.
Oh, okay.
There indeed was a serial killer in Anchorage, Alaska, who was hunting, raping, murdering these women. He would set them free in the wilderness, letting them think that they could get away because he wanted to hunt them for sport. Like he was like a real sadistic asshole.
I mean, in the 70s and early 80s, like that was a big time for serial
It
killers.
is. That was
So
like the serial killer fucking,
heyday.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So that murderer was Robert Hansen, aka the Butcher Baker, or aka Butcher Bob. So it fits because he also has the same name as Bob Ross. So a lot of times people
Oh,
are like, they're just grasping at straws
of
and it kind of
course.
comes up. So our Bob Ross, was stationed near Fairbanks, Alaska, which was roughly 6.5 hours north of Anchorage, where all of this mayhem was going on. So he
Oh, okay.
realistically was nowhere in the vicinity. So how did this conspiracy theory come to life? Where do people get off accusing poor innocent Bob Ross?
Right?
So it actually started from a writing prompt on Reddit. Where else? In
Internet ruins
2017.
everything.
I know.
Sorry.
So the prompt said, quote, Bob Ross was actually a serial killer and painted where he buried his victims. His paintings are becoming suspicious and the body count is rising, end quote. So basically, this was prompting fellow Redditors to create a story, whether they wanted, however direction they wanted it to go, and then post it to this forum so other people could be entertained and like read about it. But some people took the stories out of context and decided that a Reddit story was actually like a news article, and then they started spreading this rumor.
Got it. Got it.
I don't know of anyone who actually believes that this is a legitimate conspiracy theory. I think most people think it's complete bullshit. When I told Alex, he rolled his eyes and I couldn't see them for a while.
Oh, good.
But at least, thankfully, Bob Ross could continue to live on in our hearts and minds as just a sweet, gentle man who very much enjoyed painting.
Okay, that is how I choose to remember him as well. I was a little concerned there for a second because you can't trust anyone really.
You
Come
really
on.
can, especially after they die. The secrets come out, people stop protecting.
Right?
You never know.
Like it's crazy to me that like you will never truly know another person. Like you will know a facet of that person.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's crazy. But
Yeah,
anyhow.
definitely. But
Okay.
that is the story of Bob Ross.
Okay, I was worth exploring. I'm glad it had a happy ending. Sad he's dead. But
Same. It's also kind of in the same vein. I don't know if you've heard the conspiracy theory. I was going to do an episode on it, but it was even shorter. There was nothing as compared to what I just did. Have you ever heard that Garth Brooks, the country singer, is a serial killer?
I've heard rumblings about that, but nothing like with any
There was a
substance.
video on TikTok, oh, maybe a couple years ago, and allegedly this TikToker had correlated missing persons with Garth Brooks, like his tour that he was on. So all the cities that he was playing in, like every time there was a new kidnapping or fucking new missing person or something like that. It doesn't actually exist. I've never been able to find this map that correlated everything. And then everyone's like, you just have way too much time on your hands. So a lot of times these poor innocent people just get like marked with that they're a serial killer for absolutely no reason. So this was just another kind of same vein story.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Do you
Interesting.
know what you're going to cover next time?
I have an idea. I need to explore it a little bit further to make
Sure.
sure it's worth the time, but it was
Mhm.
something that had come up in one of my feeds a few days ago that made me
Mhm.
go, interesting, because I hadn't heard of it before.
Okay.
So, um, yes, but I won't declare what it is.
Sure. That's totally fine.
But yeah, we're always looking for new episode suggestions. You can reach out to us on our various social media platforms. We pretty much have them all. You can also send us a good old-fashioned email at crackedsistersconspiracies@gmail.com. And with that, I'm going to say stay cracked, y'all.
And have a great day.